Hello. This reading is for my friend Fiery from our fitness group. And I pulled three cards from you. And because I pulled three from three different decks. And let me just give you a little bit of background first, since um, we've just talked about this. I'm a messenger. And what I'll do is I will give you the information and any promptings, anything that I get. Typically what happens is I start reading the card and I start talking and then words come. Um, I will not necessarily be privy to any information that I don't need. I don't claim to be a psychic. I get promptings, and I share information. And again, Oracle and what I do, the way Spirit communicates with me is all really about life path. It's about that physical, emotional, and spiritual balance that creates harmony and creates a life and an atmosphere where we're able to grow and prosper and become who we are supposed to be able to be. And it's a blessing to ourselves because we become who we're supposed to be, and it's a blessing to those around us and those in our tribe as well, because when we're at our best, we can serve others, and that's really a very important aspect of the human existence. And so the learning, the growth, the sharing, and the blessing. So I've drawn three cards. The first card comes from a deck called Mystical Shaman, and this deck uses all ancient symbols, and many of these ancient symbols come even before written words. So I'll share with you the essence of the card, and that's the original message of the symbol, and then I'll share with you what the card means as it relates to you. And then I pulled one from the wisdom of the oracle, and this one also uses signs and symbols as well. But this one is about every card has an oracle in it, and focuses on that we are co-creating our existence, this life here, with spirit. And when I read this card to you, you'll understand a little bit more about how that works. And then the third deck that I pulled from is a mermaid and dolphins deck, actually. It was a gift to me because one of my very closest friends, my best, she's actually like a sister, better than a sister to me, and she gifted me these cards, and I use them all the time. And the focus of this deck is about manifestation. So the first deck is really going to set the precedence for kind of where you are. It's the dominant energy that's going on right now. The second card is what you need to focus on. And the third card is the manifestation, is how to move forward at this point, knowing what you know. And so we'll get started. Let me read to you first the essence. So the first card is the Rainmaker, and that's from the mystical shaman. I'm just going to read you the essence of what the initial meaning of the symbolism is. The Rainmaker is the master of manifestation, who can call on the elements of nature to serve the greater good. When the power to co-create is used with integrity, great beauty and benefit flow to all. When this power is used for personal gain only, everyone suffers. When the earth is parched, the Rainmaker calls forth the waters from the heavens, and all that is dormant in the fields and in the people's hearts springs to life again. So the Rainmaker, and we've heard of this in Native American history, really almost every spiritual study and philosophy has something akin to the Rainmaker, who calls forth on Mother Nature, that brings in life-giving water, and the symbolic meaning of feeding the fields. So this card is a lot about service, being your best. So because this fell in the first position, which is the dominant energy, there's a very specific message for this. The Rainmaker, you're being encouraged. The Rainmaker is calling you to create something new from what is already existing in your life at this moment. The suggestion is that you've already planted seeds of manifestation, and there's all kinds of things. You know, the things that we want, the things that we're doing, the goals that we're working toward, um, that physical, emotional, and spiritual growth that we are working toward. All of these are seeds that have been planted, and the messages is that they are going to come to fruition. And this is kind of exciting, actually. It's an amazing card because this is what it says. Um, to to come forth from the elements that are already in your life. Be sure you work with what is and not with what might be or what could have been. Now, the reason that's important is because a lot of times we forget to enjoy the journey. We spend so much time looking forward towards what we're hoping for or looking back at what we had before, what we've lost, what we could have done differently, and all of that, that we miss what's happening. You know, the magic happens on the journey. It's much more important than the destination. And that's where we really gain the most and learn the most and um, become more of who we're supposed to become is by being cognizant of everything that's going on around us at the moment. And it's not suggesting that you should forget every lesson you ever learned, of course. And it's not suggesting that you shouldn't um, forget your goals. You of course want to use that and use those powers and use those power of manifestation so that you can be living the life that you choose because that's a beautiful gift as well. But you are in a moment in your life right now. You are in a place where you can take the situation that you're in, the life that you're living now, the people that are in your life right now, um, the growth, the spiritual place that you are right now, you can take all of that and realize that it's much bigger than it seems. So the dominant energy right now for you is to be focused on what you have. We hear a lot about being grateful in the moment, and that being grateful is the best way to um, change our perspective and move towards the things that take us to our higher selves and to a higher existence and help us communicate better both with spirit and with ourselves and with those around us. So, the dominant spirit, the dominant energy right now is for you to take what you have right now and focus on how you can magnify that calling and how you can create something more with what you have. I feel like this has something to do with who you are and how you affect the people around you and the message that you have for them. This is definitely a card about service and being very authentic and being your most true self. You know, so you're not focused on doing things for other people. You do things and you bless them by being yourself. So that's a really lovely card because basically it's just telling you just pay attention to what's going on right now, right where you are, because it can be so much more than it is when you kind of um, be grateful for the past, be cognizant of the future, but are really living in the moment and enjoying the moment and learning lessons and seeing the people and the situations that are coming into your life now. Because there's a reason for all of it. I hope I don't sneeze. I'm a little congested here. So now your next card, and this comes from the I don't know sneeze. It's from the Wisdom of the Oracle, and I'll show you this card. The back of this card shows you can see the Oracle face in the middle of the Ammonite right here. It's a lovely card. These cards are just so beautiful, and you got by the book. And this is an interesting card to come after the Rainmaker because the Rainmaker is asking you to look around at what's going on, what seeds have been planted in your life right now, and use those to magnify your calling. And by the book, the message with this is that now is not the time to buck the system. It's time to, I don't know that the word conform is necessarily the right word, as much it is be aware. Sometimes people really revel in being a rebel, but there are universal laws that exist in the spirit, as well as there are social laws that exist within within the social confines. And they're all there for a reason. Some of those spirit laws are the law of attraction, the law of manifestation. Uh, those are the two that everybody hears about. The law of gratitude, those kinds of things. There's lots of them. There's many. Uh, and we know that when we try to go against the law of spirit, that things sometimes don't go as well as they should. And when we do that, typically what we're doing is we're not following our own intuition. We're not listening to that still small voice, that power of discernment that we all have. And I tell everyone your intuition is always right. And if you will listen to that, you will always know what to do next. And so the first card is the dominant energy, and the second card is what to focus on. So what you're being asked to focus on right now is getting along and communicating well and really paying attention to and understanding the situations and the people that in your life right now. Now is not the time to be pushing the envelope, because if there's something on this side of the veil that's out of balance, the spiritual laws will bring back harmony. It's not our job to create harmony where other people are creating disharmony. You only have to have harmony in yourself. So what you're being asked to do here is to kind of follow the rules, as long as they are rules of integrity and laws that feel good within your own heart. So as far as spiritually, it's not the time to be ignoring your intuition. And as far as in this realm, in the human experience, whether it's at work, just doing things the way you've been asked to do them. It's not time to challenge or push the envelope or question the system. And the reason for that is because there are things in place there that are going to be coming to you. Again, we're talking about that journey like we were with the Rainmaker. There are things on that journey that are going to help you, and they're going to position you in a way that you are going to continue to grow, and you're going to reap a lot of blessings. And when you are at your best, you are a great blessing to yourself and to those around you. So it's not time to force your way through life. Just know that the I even don't even like to call them rules. The guidelines that are there, that are put in place for you to help you move forward, are there for a specific reason, and they are there by design prospect. So just know that now is not the time for you to push forward. Now it's time for you to kind of go with the flow and be aware of where you are and what's going on around you, the people coming into your life, the situations that are developing, because all of those are there for your best good, for your highest good. And then your third card is from the deck of manifestation. And manifestation is all about creating the life that we choose to live versus the life other people expect of us. And on this one, you got playtime, which is really great. See, here's the thing about play. Play is a form of meditation, and it's a way for us to clear our minds, to shake loose the shackles of being mired in the day-to-day and the things that kind of rob us of our joy. It's an opportunity for us to step away from things that can be very heavy on us and allow us to laugh and experience joy and just enjoy the moment and where we are in that moment. So this is a really delightful card, because you're being told that you don't always have to be marching on to war, as it were. You can. There's an opportunity here for you, especially if there's something that you have been toiling over, decision, something you're trying to decide, something you're trying to especially something that's very impactful. You try, like whether it's moving or changing jobs or or something to do with a relationship and you've been struggling, or issues that you have, familial relationship of some sort. And you've been toiling over it and you go back and forth about what to do and what not to do and that sort of thing. With this card, the suggestion with this is that, remember, first of all, your prayers have been heard. And sometimes it's that we can't see the forest for the trees syndrome. And so if you stop and take time to play and you lighten your heart a little bit and you let go of all those things that weigh you, it kind of clears your mind and you go away and you go do something that brings you nothing but joy for the sheer sake of joy itself. When you come back, a lot of times the solution is right there in front of your face and it's been there all along. We just couldn't see it because we were just too close to it. That's really what this card is asking you to do, is to just take a break. Life doesn't always have to be serious and guarded and pushing along. And, the world's not going to fall off its axis if you take a day off. People can make their own sandwiches. They can remember to set their alarms on their own. That you don't have to solve all the world's problems. And you don't have to always be the one making sure things happen. And it's great if that's what you like to do. You don't always have to be at the ready to serve the world because you're no good to anyone if you're not taking care of yourself. So this is really about self-care, and you're being asked to just step back and take a little break, whether it's an hour in the afternoon where you take a little break and you just turn off the phone and you quit answering emails and text messages and stuff like that, and you read a book, or you go swimming, or whatever it is that really brings you a lot of joy. Watch a movie, whatever it is. Get together with friends where you just sit around and talk nonsense. It doesn't really matter what it is. Whatever it is that brings you joy is what this card is encouraging you to do. So let's get a look at a little overview here. The Rainmaker is asking you to build from where you already are, the seeds that you have already planted. Rather than looking for new avenues and new ways to do things, recognize that you have everything you need to manifest the life that you want right now. And then By the Book is encouraging you to just go with the flow and just do things the way you've been taught to do them, whether it's how to get along with siblings that are hard to get along with, or getting along at work, or doing things in a systematic way. Just follow the process for a little while, because there are big things coming in store for you. There are big rewards for that. And then ultimately take a minute to step back and just experience the true joy of just playing. Just take a little break. And then those things that you've been working toward, you're going to come back with fresh eyes. I like to say you're going to be revitalized, renewed, and refreshed when you come back and look at things again. And you're either going to see that you're on the right track and that you are moving in the direction that you want to be moving, and you can continue doing that, or you're going to see solutions and you're going to see obstacles kind of melting away, and you're going to start seeing obstacles as opportunities and learning lessons. You're going to be able to take that information to move forward and to continue moving towards that life that you choose to live. And living authentically is the greatest joy of all, and it's also the greatest blessing, not only to you but to those around you. So these are really three very lovely cards. The general overall message is that you're on the right track. The first card already suggests that you've already been planting seeds and working towards manifesting to your highest good. The By the Book already suggests that you already know what you need to do and how to do it. And then the Playtime is telling you, okay, so now you can take a little break. You've done the hard work, and now you can take a little break and enjoy yourself, and you can get back to it tomorrow. So I hope that resonates with you, my friend. And if you have any questions, you're certainly welcome to ask. And with that, I'll leave you with that message, and I hope that you find some use with that information. And love, peace, and I the just a second. I want you to know that you are absolutely on a very positive path in your life. And there's a big message in that playtime for you. I want to strongly encourage you to take the time to just kind of step back and rest a little bit. I'm not suggesting that you neglect your responsibilities, but um, you've been working very hard, and I feel like there's a reward that has something to do with a relationship in that. Um, I feel like somebody needs to just sit down and hang out with you and laugh with you. You need that connection. You need that connection, but I think someone else needs that connection as well. So be sure to include those that are important to you in that playtime. Okay, there you go. That's what I've got. Let me know what you think.